So, and there are 8 other penguins that live here at the Florida Aquarium. So, does anybody know what kind of penguin he is? There are 18 different species, so I'll let you guys have this one because I personally didn't know a lot about penguins before I started doing this either. But he's an African black-footed penguin. So where do we think he is found? Africa. See, you guys are so smart. Does that sound kind of weird to anybody though? Like I thought penguins lived where it was cold outside. Why is there a penguin in Africa? I can answer your question at the end, bud. I don't want to keep you raising your hand the whole time though. So,
I know, right?
Penguins can be found anywhere all over the southern hemisphere. So even in the Galapagos Islands or in Africa, you can find a penguin. And there are only 5 birds that live in cold weather, or live in Antarctica. And all the other of the species can live anywhere across the southern hemisphere. For these guys specifically though, they live in the southern tip of Africa. So Namibia and Cape Town along the rocky shores. So these guys actually have adaptations to help them live there. Even though Africa is warm year-round, the water stays cold. It's anywhere from 40 to 50 degrees, and it is the Indian Ocean. So if you're wondering how cold that is, you can take a trip up to our No Bone Zone upstairs if you haven't, and that water is pretty cold, and that's what these penguins deal with. So, looking at Pebbles, do we think he has fur or feathers? Fur. Fur? So that's actually a great guess, but it's actually feathers. There are just so many of them, and they're so small, and they're so smooth that it looks like it is fur. But if I were to put a quarter on any part of his body, there'd be anywhere from 75 to 100 feathers just where that quarter would be. That's a lot of feathers. And speaking of even more feathers, he actually has 2 layers of them. So the ones you're seeing on the outside here are called his guard feathers, and those he will slick down with an oil that is actually produced near his tail, and he'll use his beak to smooth down all of those feathers and make them waterproof. And then he has a layer underneath called his downy feathers, and those are fluffy, soft, and warm, and help him trap in the air to stay warm while he is swimming. So, speaking of swimming, why do we think Pebbles would be in the water? Because it's hot? Yeah? You can shout them out. What does Pebbles eat? Fish, and fish are found in the water, right? So Pebbles actually has an adaptation that helps him while he is fishing for food too. So we'll notice that his belly is white and his back is black. And that's actually a specific type of camouflage to help him hide when he's swimming. So if I were to be looking for Pebbles in the water and I was swimming above him, his dark back would actually blend in with the dark waters of the ocean. And if I were swimming below Pebbles, his white belly would blend in with all of the sunshine shining through. So that's it for that. Also, speaking of fish, so he's fishing in the water a lot, and that camouflage helps him protect himself from any predators. What kinds of predators do we think penguins have? Sea lions? Fox? Any other guesses? Remember they're found in Africa. Sharks? Carnivores? So it would be a carnivore that would eat them. Sharks aren't predominantly a predator for them. They can find a penguin, however that's not what they usually go for. However, seals is right. But does anyone have an idea of the biggest thing affecting penguins right now? I heard it. Humans. Unfortunately, yeah, we are a problem right now for these penguins for a couple of different reasons. So, as we know, we've seen a lot of pollution happening in our oceans. We've seen a lot of plastic straws and other plastic bottles and things being found, and that's not good for the penguins either. So, just to kind of give you
on my phone?
I know a lot of people want to talk straws to you guys and talk about reusable straws and other things like that. But in the United States alone, we go through 5 million straws a day, just in the United States. And 5 million straws is enough to wrap around the Earth's circumference 2.5 times. And that's just in a day and just in the United States. So we really stress the importance of reducing single-use plastic like those straws. And also another thing with straws is they're not recyclable. They're actually too small and too thin to be recycled, and they'll be sorted out and disposed of in other ways. Also, these guys are running out of their food source. Unfortunately, we are overfishing and taking too much from wild populations that they need to survive. So, Pebble's counterparts in the wild unfortunately aren't finding enough fish for themselves to eat, and because of that, not being able to feed their young as well. So we're seeing them eat things like plastic and like sea jellies, which aren't a part of their natural diets at all. But there are things we can do now to help these penguins out. One of them is having investor animals like Pebbles. So having them here at the aquarium is through the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, and it's something called the Species Survival Plan. Since the African black-footed penguins are extremely endangered, we have them here to try to grow a wide pool of genes so that in the future, if the population were to go extinct, we could help reintroduce that so there would be African black-footed penguins for long generations to come. But another way we can help doing that is actually watching where our seafood comes from. So we're not asking anybody to stop eating any seafood, but we're just asking you to check if that seafood is coming from a place where it won't affect these penguins, or won't affect the wild counterparts. So we actually have cards here that tell you where your seafood is coming from. So say you wanted to eat salmon for dinner, you could say, oh, that salmon is coming from a fish farm, and it's a great choice for me to eat because it's not affecting marine life. So we do have these here for you guys if you want to take one, or if you want to save paper too. They actually have an app, and it's available on all platforms, and it's called Seafood Watch. So those are great ways you can check out to help these African black-footed penguins and their wild counterparts. And with that, that is my penguin spiel. Does anybody have any questions about Pebbles or penguins? Yeah? No? If you have any questions, don't feel shy to ask. Yeah, what's your question? Can you speak up a little bit louder, sir?
Stop shaking me.
How many penguins are there in the world? That's a great question, and I don't know the exact answer, but there are 18 different kinds of penguins. So, does that give you a little bit better of an idea? Great. Yeah? I'm sorry? Can we touch Pebbles? Unfortunately, right now, no, just because there's a lot of you guys. And imagine if everybody here wanted to come and pet you. It'd be kind of a lot, right? Yeah, what's your question? What type of fish do they eat? That's a great question. So they eat lots of different fish. So they can eat here, they get things like anchovies and herring, and also capelin is another popular choice. But if you actually look at Pebble's wing, he can eat a fish that's about as big as his wing, and when they do eat, they only swallow fish whole. They don't chew it up, it just goes straight down. What's your question, Julie? How many fish do we feed them at a time? So how many fish do we feed them at a time? It depends on how hungry they are. If they want to eat 5 fish, they can have 5 fish. If they just want one, they can only have one. It's all up to what they want to eat that day. What's your question, bud?
Your brother still has money left. He has a 5.
Do we know how much they each?
Shiloh's brother still has. Yeah. He has.
How much fish do they eat? So in a day, penguins can eat up to 25% of their body weight. So it varies from penguin to penguin. But Pebbles will eat
They didn't go to
anywhere from 1 to
the
about
gift shop
2
yet.
to 2.5 pounds, depending on how hungry.
Group A didn't go to the gift shop.
Wait.
Group A didn't go to the gift shop.
Yeah, they
Do you have
did.
another question?
They didn't.
Not fair.
What type of penguin do you eat?
And that means he didn't buy anything.
African black-footed penguin. African black-footed. Did you have a question, bud? You're just saying hi. Does anybody you have a question? Why does he have white on his belly when it's not, or his black? The black on his
Wait,
back?
how does it not count this?
On his belly. That is actually just an indicator
does.
for their species. So
Kind of.
every penguin will have their own little band just to distinguish who they are. But that just comes out different. It's kind of like snowflakes. How every snowflake is different.
it's a
That's just how it
smartphone.
happens on penguins too. That's just how their fur grows.
It's a live phone,
Their
I mean.
feathers grow.
Do anything you want.
Any other questions about penguins? Yeah, what's your question? How do the different penguins compare across different countries? That's a great question. I don't know a lot about other penguins. I only know a lot about African black-footed penguins. But there are differences in how big they can be, where they swim, how often they swim, also their coloration. There's macaroni penguins that have yellow feathers too. And then the biggest penguin to help you differentiate would be the emperor penguin, and they can be almost as tall as me. What's your question, bud? How do we know how much fish he wants to eat? So Pebbles is actually known for shaking his head no when he's all full and doesn't want to eat anymore. And they also just won't accept fish if they don't want to eat it. So we can offer him the fish and say, "Hey, you hungry?" And if he doesn't want to eat it, he won't. Yeah, he actually will shake his head no. We don't have any fish for him right now, but sometimes he does it. Yeah, what's your question, too? Do the males or females pay for the chicks? That's a good question. Here we are in a breeding facility, but however, I do believe they are mates, so they will stay together while they have chicks and throughout the chick's life. So I believe it is both that will end up paying for it, however, the mother does have to
And the girl has a pink backpack. Hey, stop yelling.
Does anybody else have any more questions about penguins?
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, what's your question, bud? Does anybody else have any questions? Yeah, what's your question? How old is Pebbles? Pebbles is 12 years old.
Pebbles is older than you guys. That's so cool. Pebbles older than you.
Do all penguins have the same beaks? That's a great question. So Pebbles is actually shorter compared to a lot of the penguin beaks that we have here, and they're individual as well. So some can have longer beaks and some can have shorter, and they're actually made out of keratin. So the same things our fingernails do with us is the same thing their beaks are made of. And their beaks are also constantly growing as well. Yeah, what's your question, Jamie?
Yes.
How long do penguins live for? So on their own, penguins can live anywhere from 10 to 12 years. However, in human care, they can live a lot longer since they have unlimited food sources, unlimited health care, and nothing that's a problem. Anybody else have any questions? Yeah. Why do sometimes penguins shake their butts? That's a good question. So sometimes it can be if they're ready to use the bathroom, they'll shake their butts. Other times they can just be trying to adjust or fluff their feathers.
Yes.
Any other questions? Do you have a question, bud?
Yes.
How tall Pebbles is? A little bit over a foot.
What?
So you guys are going to be the last couple of questions. We do it to bring Pebbles back for the evening. So just letting you guys know if you want to take any pictures. Just a question. Yeah, go ahead. Why is his name Pebbles? So all of the penguins that we have here are actually named after beachy type things. So we have coral and reef as well. Pebbles just ended up being
Yeah, we are.
Mhm.
We are. But in the next, the end of those, the end of.
Why did his feathers come up? So that is actually him releasing an air that has been cold and retrapping warm air to keep his body.
You're just bragging.
Did you have a question over here? Yeah, Pebbles is actually 12 years old. What's your question, bud? I can't hear you.
That's why that guy, Dave Bradley.
How fast are they on water and land? In the water, they can swim anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour, and on land, they're actually pretty slow and clumsy. Okay, any last questions? I have time for one more. Yeah, what's your question? Is it true that their fur is waterproof? So that's a great question. It looks like fur, but he actually has feathers. Everything you see on him is actually small, tiny feathers, but they are waterproof. He has an oil gland near his tail, and he'll use his beak to actually grab that oil and smooth it over those feathers, and that's what makes it waterproof. Alright guys, unfortunately I am all out of time today, so I do thank you for coming and listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.